Hey everybody, welcome back and happy Monday. So guys, I just remembered, I'm not the one, and I know this sounds like a 1950s housewife, and I'm sorry, and I'm getting better. I'm not the one who books the flights and when we go out of town and stuff. And I said to Jason, I said, what time are we flying out on Friday? And he said, oh, we have to be at the airport at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I need to tell everybody that. So there will be no hot, messy topics on Friday, but hopefully we can still steal Ashley for Salt Lake City this week because we're having so much fun with that. And I know for a fact that the ladies and Bravo, they're watching, trust me. But with that, I hope everybody had a beautiful weekend, especially coming off of the heels of so many disasters that have been happening in our country, but also all over the world. I hope that we were able to find some positive peace in our day, whether it was Saturday, Sunday, or even today. It's a new week. So I just want to kind of lead with that. Please, in the live chat, if you're watching and you're not a part of the replay crew, let us know where you're watching from. And if you are a part of the replay crew, well, then hello and welcome. Don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss future lives. And let's welcome Ashley. Hello.
Hello, Adam. How are you?
Good. I finished my monologue.
I love it so much. Hi, Adam's family. Your monologue was eloquent and appropriate, and what a way to start. It's a new week. Hopefully everybody is in better standing than last week.
Yeah. You know, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, some people really love Halloween, you guys. That is not me. I'm not a Halloween kind of person. I'm not even a Thanksgiving kind of person. I'm the pickiest eater. My palate consists of like 6 items. And for Halloween, I know. I'm like a 12-year-old boy. It's something that
know it.
It's true. And it's something that Jason's dad and I had in common. He also had a very chill palate. And you know, like I miss that about Jason's dad. But with that, like Thanksgiving and Halloween, I'm like, can we get through it? Because Christmas is my shit. That's why I'm like, ooh, let's play.
Halloween is my Christmas, but I love Christmas, but I'm not a Thanksgiving girly. Like, I don't eat meat, so it's like, what am I going to just eat sides all day? Yeah, well, that's exactly what I do, but it's just not that exciting. Plus,
Jason and I got into, I had a complete, and Jason will listen to this. I didn't have a meltdown, but I had like, we went to Trader Joe's.
Oh, heaven.
Okay. Went to Trader Joe's.
I'm a Trader hoe.
Over here in Charleston, and it was packed. Like, it was so packed where people were blocking each other in, and Jason's like, are we going to do this? And I put my hand out and I was like, if you're in it, I'm in it. I shouldn't have done that. So we get in there and I was like, I'm going to make this like meat over spaghetti squash where it turns into like a spaghetti. And Jason said, well, we're trying to be healthier. Why not do ground turkey? And I was like, where is the meat? Where is the beef? I don't like turkey. And he's like, you'll never know the difference in taste. And I was like, no, I don't want that. And he's like, Adam, you are so loud right now. Nobody gives a shit that you don't want turkey. Then go find them. Shut up. And I was like, I'm so sorry. That's my octave. I can't hear very well. I'm like an old man. And like, I apologize, guys, to all of you ground turkey eaters, but I don't know if it's going to taste the same. And it really gives me cause for pause. That's it.
I do not, as somebody who used to eat meat, there's nothing that tastes the same, in my humble opinion, about ground beef. And I mean, as somebody who eats like Beyond and Impossible now, that tastes way more like beef than ground turkey. Just saying, in my humble opinion.
Oh, see, hell no. I'm happy I didn't buy the ground turkey then. I ended up buying the beef. I was like, you know what? I'll be healthy in other ways. I'll just drink a ton of water, no Prosecco. I'll ride my bike for 2 hours and I'm eating my beef. So
2 hours, that's such a commitment.
Not when you have the OC to watch.
I've been binging too.
I know. I saw your text.
But I can't help it. Oh my God, it's so good. Like Seth Cohen growing up to Hot Rabbi is everything.
I binge watched that too, and it was incredible.
So you just said you're not a Halloween person, but just for anybody who is, and if you love I just did it again, Seth Cohen / the Hot Rabbi / Adam Brody. There's a Halloween kind of scary, campy movie called Jennifer's Body. It's with Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, and Adam Brody. I think it's more funny than scary, but if you love Adam Brody, you need to watch it. Like, trust me, you need to watch it.
I think that was when I was in high school.
Yeah, it was like out in like the maybe late 2000s.
Yeah. That was when she was like the it girl.
Yes.
Wait. Well, we have a lot to discuss today, you guys. From Kyle shopping around in Nashville to the new New Jersey rumors that are coming out, and Jennifer Aydin seemingly confirming one of them. We have Alexis Bellino and John Jansen, her fiance, which she makes sure that we all know that she is not the girlfriend. They're giving us the ick again. And then Lindsay from Summer House might actually be finally making her exit. So not only that, last night we had the Real Housewives of Potomac, and Giselle was like, take your asses and get out of here. So we got a lot.
That was a choice.
That was a choice. And I wasn't mad at her for it. I really wasn't.
Really?
Where do you want to start? No, I
feel like we should start at Potomac.
Okay.
I think we're already going to have differing opinions on it.
I love it. So
love it.
If you guys watched Potomac last night, I gave the episode a solid 7. But for Ashley, I'm curious what you think. And also for all of you guys in the live chat, let us know 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. What are you giving Potomac these days?
I pondered this in the shower this morning, and with great thought, I gave it a solid 6.75.
Oh, okay. We're doing like the gymnastics scores.
You know, it was almost a 7 for me, but it just wasn't quite there. A 10, an 8. Wow. And you know what? I don't think a 7 or 8 is like a necessarily bad score. I think you need these kind of episodes. They all can't be explosive. It did a lot of groundwork. A lot of relationship statuses have been changed and, you know, new foundations made. I think it was a really, really good episode, and it was fun to watch. 5, yeah.
Okay, so I have a few little qualms with this.
Oh, I love a good qualm.
Let's start with Mia. Well, nobody thinks that Mia is a bad mom, and we pick up the episode where we left off, where the women are questioning her, putting her kids in the line of fire. No offense to Mia, and I'm not a parent, but I am a kid who grew up very exposed to everything. I grew up, and it's my parents talk to me. Sometimes they even cry, and they get really upset with me, and they're like, man, we wish we would have like protected you more and like let you be a child. And I really wasn't a child. I grew up way, way, way too fast. And I saw a ton of things that I shouldn't have seen, and like really, really, really not great things. But also I have the best parents in the world and I love them. So I want to preface it by that. For Mia and the kids to see that there is this man coming in and out of the house that they don't know what the dynamic is. And then they have who they know to be their father in the house. And then the kids going to Gordon saying, you know, like, mommy was in bed with Mr. Ink. Yeah, these kids are babies. That's not protecting your kids, because now it's disrupting the system and what they think is so pure. And they think like, okay, well, it's mommy and daddy, and this is our life. Oh my God. This is like their first exposure to Santa's not real. This isn't actually a thing. Is divorce a thing? Like, my friends at school got a divorce and they hate it and their lives are being torn apart. Is my life going to be torn apart? I see what Giselle and Karen were saying. I don't love their delivery, but I saw what they were saying with it, because now you're taking a certain level of their innocence away and giving them something to worry about that most kids usually shouldn't have to.
I'm with you. I think Messy Mia outmessed herself on this one. I do not feel it was intentional, but because she's so sloppy and has just a lack of finesse in life, it seems, from what we've gathered from her the last few seasons, this is how she operates, and her kids are going to be the ones who pay for this. Giselle and Karen? that were giving her a hard time at the table, they weren't wrong. Like, the kids walked in on her in bed with another man. All this is on TV. It's all over the internet. That kid won't be in middle school before he's learned of all this nonsense. If it doesn't, this is Mia's doing. Mia did this.
Yeah. And, you know, it is, you know, oh God, this is like a personal story, but people would, you know, like, just to give you guys an idea. And I want to go back. I want to start with Mia for a second. I'm going to bounce all over the place because this one hits a little home for me. Mia, right now, in my eyes, and I'm not seeing her as a parent, and it does seem like in the scenes that we do see with her and her kids, she loves her kids. But I think that as much as she can love her kids, she is prioritizing herself and her fame and stuff like that, because I think that these conversations, like where Ink could be the father or not be the father, until you know that, unfortunately, this will live on TV for forever, on streaming services and everything. And your son is going to know that this was a conversation, and he could potentially be picked on for that. And unless it's something that you're sure of, you're now using this to create a storyline to drive more interest, to make you more desirable, to keep you on the network for a job, a paycheck. And that's at the expense of your children. So I think that is what they were saying. I was at home with my mom. Seriously. I was at home with my mom for a summer. My mom had already gotten a divorce. She was 6 months out of the divorce. And she was laying in bed. She had a new boyfriend. She had been with him for like, you know, six months or something like that. Like, her and my stepdad were separated far before that. And she met this guy, and he came over to come over and hang out at the house, and they were watching TV. And it just so happened in the same room that they were watching TV, nothing weird, that was where the computer was. And I was on MySpace, changing my MySpace music and changing my top 8, really, really fun stuff. We left the door unlocked. Okay. So when we left the door unlocked, we had a very drunk ex-husband come stumbling into the house, let himself into the house, and all of a sudden the bedroom door slams open, and I was probably like 9, and I look up, and he's standing there with this massive butcher knife. Like,
oh my God.
No joke. It was like, you effing bitch, you, like, screaming, cussing, calling my mom every name in the book. And I was just like looking there, like, probably just, I was so silent but terrified, like, of
course,
not even knowing what was going to happen. And then he ended up walking out, and the whole night he was sitting under the window. And we found out because there was a bunch of bush cans under the window. So he was staking out the place the whole night, waiting to get himself up to be able to like break into the house. And then he walked out, and the guy, her boyfriend, chased him out into the parking lot. He walked out into the parking lot, and he was stabbing my mom's truck tires. But the thing is like, that was something that I should not have seen. I shouldn't have been exposed to that. I saw it. You can't unsee it. And it was like one of those moments that added up. It wasn't the only moment, but it was a moment that added up, and it added to like the ticker of things that made me really grow up way too fast. And that's the thing now, when you're subjecting your kids to these conversations or things that they shouldn't be privy to, whether you're having these conversations with them in person, or you're having them on a television show where they're going to be eventually privy to them, that's a choice, and it's a big choice.
Well, you know? Not to like make you trigger you anymore, but just to your point, as traumatic as that was for you in that moment, imagine that was televised and on a streaming service and able to be downloaded. You experienced that once, and it has lived on in your psyche. Not only is this going to live on in their psyches, they have evidence. Multiple places.
Right. Like, my story can be repainted like a game of telephone in my head a million times, even though I remember it the way that I remember it. Right. But this story cannot.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So,
and again, I don't think Mia was intentional, but because she's such a messy human being, my dog, I call her Messy Mary. She is Messy Mia.
I also wouldn't want my mom going on a television show, and it's, again, nothing against Mia, but I wouldn't want my mom going on a television show talking about how much vaginal rejuvenation she's had. Like, I just, as a kid, thinking of like you look at your parents, like they are superheroes. Your parents do no wrong in your eyes when you're little. You're just like, God, you guys are the best humans ever. And I wish that my friends had parents like you guys. And then you start, as things progress and you get older, you start to see that things are not necessarily what you think they are. My mom is literally calling me right now.
Who is?
My mom.
Oh.
Mom, if you're watching, I'm so sorry for sharing that story. I hope she's not watching.
Okay. I hope not too. And you know what? It turned you into the person you are today. You survived it and you thrived. So hopefully your kids are the same. Like we've all had things in life and you moved on and you're stronger for it.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Everybody goes through stuff, but for me,
one thing that we were talking about that I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying for me, it is a choice, but go ahead.
I was going to say, like, maybe it's time for people to step away from the show when they're in the middle of these things, i.e., this would have been a good time for Mia to maybe take a step back for her children's sake. I'm going to say the same thing for my good old friend Karen, who I've always loved and I've always defended. I think if she was not prepared to talk, for whatever reason it is, if it's legal, by choice, she should have stayed off of the show this season and prayed they have her back, because if she's not going to talk about her reality, which is this accident and the aftermath, I kind of am uninvested. And I've always loved Karen for being the off touch with reality person, but it was always cute. This isn't cute.
Well, also for Karen, I think the difference is, and Karen threw a little bit of shade at Shannon, you guys, saying that she reached out to Shannon. Shannon didn't reach out to her, something like that, to that effect. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. So she reached out to Shannon. Shannon didn't reach out to her. But the thing is for Karen, she is doing this dance around what actually happened, as opposed to Shannon, who was like, guys, I fucked up. I had too much to drink. Now, is she exhibiting somebody like behavior of somebody who went to rehab with her, like Diet Coke and straight vodka? No. But is she driving as far as we know? No. At the end of the day, she is saying, I made a choice. It was an incredibly awful choice. I could have hurt somebody. I'm just happy that I hurt myself and nobody else. And I am so sorry. And whatever I can do to fix that, I want to do. Where Karen is going wrong in this situation, in my opinion, and you guys can totally rip me for this, and Ashley, you can rip me too.
No, I already agree with you.
Oh, okay. Where Karen's going wrong is she's like, guys, we're going to have to see how this plays out, and what God says is what God's will is. And however this happens, I just want to know which one of you bitches ride for me and which one of you bitches are a part of the Karen pack. That's all I want to know. No. How can they be a part of the Karen pack when this is the second time you got a DUI? You crashed your car into a tree. You could have killed yourself. You could have killed somebody else. You could have ran over a child. You could have done so many things, but thankfully you did not, or else you would be in prison right now. But instead of being like, you bitches need to ride for me, and I'm going to look at you guys and don't take the Erica Jane route, being like, one day one of you guys are going to be in my seat. And I'll remember all of this. I'll never forget it. Like, it's a different scenario. You are wrong.
While we're simultaneously watching how Shannon has navigated this, and Karen, exactly as you said, has opted for the Erica Jane, Jen Shaw, defensive, I'm going to come at you. The energy is, but I was wondering, the thing about Karen, this is a question possibly for Ronald Richards or Emily D. Baker. Is Karen, because this is her second DUI, is she facing any kind of jail time?
Well, from my understanding,
she go to prison for this? Is this why she's not talking? Because Shannon, I think her case is closed. It was a first offense. Karen, this is a second offense. That's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, from my understanding, it's depending on how close they were together within how many years. But I had a friend whose mom, it was one of my best friends in Florida. His mom got a divorce. And before she got the divorce, she knew she was going through a divorce. And she was like the cool mom. She was great. but she ended up pulling out of a bar and she got a DUI. And then she ended up going to jail that night. She got put in the drunk tank. She paid, I think, 10 or 15 grand, had to go through community service, and her license was revoked. Bada bing, bada boom. Then it was within like 2 years later, she got another DUI. She fell asleep at the wheel at a red light. And so she got another DUI. After that, it was much bigger. She had to go to a 30-day facility, a rehabilitation program before she went to court because it's proving that she's trying to better herself. And long story short, she paid a shit ton of money in fines. But then on top of that, she had to do 20 days, which I think that this is getting off pretty good, 20 days consecutive in the jail. And then after that, they were allowing her to go back to work to pay her fine. So she would get to work from Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, she had to check herself into the jail. And then on Monday morning, she was able to check out. So she had to check in on Fridays, check out on Mondays for, I think, another 4 or 5 consecutive weekends.
Wow.
And that's how she was treated. So it does make me wonder, somebody who's in Karen's position, is this something where you're going to be Teresa Giudice, Jen Shad, or anybody else who is made an example of because there are more eyes on you and this is the system and people don't want to promote bad behavior? Or will you get away with it?
It's going to look really bad if she gets away with it, to be totally honest. It
Yeah.
shows a 2-tier justice system. And I really, really think, being that this is her second offense, and again, I've always loved Karen, I've always defended her. I think I can't at this point.
Yeah.
I can't defend anything. And the way the way she's navigating it is just making bad worse.
Right. And I also don't disagree with the, sorry, Jacqueline saying, well, we'll have to wait and assess this after what happens in court. Once we find out all of the information and the details of what happens in court. And Karen's like, that I didn't like. Well, no, you're not giving her any details. You're not telling her what happened. You're not telling anybody what happened. Right now, you want everyone to blindly support you for a very bad decision when they wouldn't blindly support anybody else out there in the world who was drinking and driving and crashed their Maserati into a tree. But you want them to do it because you're the grand dame. No.
It's insane. Again, she should have walked away from the season. I think she would be in such a better light. I think Potomac would have been happy to have her back. I think they would have understand why she dipped out. Sorry to sound like Vanderpump Rules there, but I think they would have understood and let her come back, no questions asked. But this is a really, really bad look, and I really don't know if Karen's going to come back from this in the public eye, because it's not a lot of people are really, really mad at Shannon, which is fair, but at least she's apologetic.
Right. And, another thing that I didn't like from Karen's part of this was this award. And while I think it's amazing to be a woman or a man or anybody who is an entrepreneur and deciding to take that risk and create a business, yes, sometimes it can be easier, you guys, when you have a platform and you have a whole driving force behind you, as opposed to any Tom, Dick, and Harry on the side of the street who knows like 15 people and they're like, I'm going to start a business. There are advantages to this. However, she did it. La Dame is doing incredibly. So amazing for Karen. But for Karen to, after the GNA event was announced, for her to the day before release like this text to the masses of the group and be like, hey guys, I just want to let you know that I'm receiving an award and I would love for you guys to join. Knowing what this meant for Giselle and how it was for brain tumors and what Giselle's father dealt with, I think that was just such an awful move. And what Karen is trying to do right now is complete deflection and take away the attention off of the DUI. The same thing, like she's coming off calculated to me. It was the same thing of like when she sat down with Giselle and all of a sudden the waiter came over and said, by the way, she's never had a drink here. It's like, this is now I'm not liking you.
Right. Well, and the award felt the same way. The package going up to the award it was supposed to be given to somebody else, and then it was given to Karen. This felt as orchestrated by Karen as that scene in the restaurant from the first episode did. Karen rallied for that, and nobody will convince me otherwise. And I 100% stand by what you said. Her sending out those invitations after G&A had been planned and RSVP'd is tacky. Kierna is the only one that I think really only has a relationship, and please correct me if I'm wrong. She's the only one it really seems that is truly friends with Karen and not really close with Giselle and Ashley. So that one made sense for me, but everybody else, if they could have worked it out, I just think Karen was so wrong for putting them in the position. And again, you're right. It's all deflection. This is a storyline. She's orchestrating us to talk about anything other than her DUI.
Right. And it's like, well, let go and let God. No, that's not an answer.
No, it's not.
That could be your personal answer with God, but that's not an answer to the people who you like. The problem is that especially after this many seasons into a show, you have sat there and held other people's feet to the fire, just like all housewives do. And so now they're holding your feet to the fire, but you don't like it because you're the grande dame. And it's like, no, that doesn't hit the same. That's not fair.
Right.
So
see, I wasn't mad at the fact that Wendy and a couple of the girls went from Ashley's event to Karen's. I thought Giselle kicking them out was just literally the audacity. Like, they showed up for you. Sorry you didn't like how they showed up, but they were there by 8 o'clock as requested. I did not like Giselle kicking them out, but you did.
No, okay, so that makes sense. I think that the ladies were put in a rough position. I could see where I invited you guys I think Karen's friend Vivian.
Yes.
Vivian, I think that she did it the best. She committed to an event, and it's like, DC traffic is insane if you guys have been there. She committed to the event. She said, I'm going to show up for this event that I originally committed to. And I think that's the way to do it. I think that if the event ends 50 minutes after you arrived and, everything's over, the speeches are over, like the event is starting to die down, I do find that to be incredibly rude. But they were put into a situation where they were trying to support both parties. And I think if anything, I think it's more rude on Karen than anyone, because Karen was the one who put them in this position, being like, oh, well, I'm going through a hard time. Poor me, but I'm getting this award. Well, it's not you're going through a hard time, poor me, because God forbid you got this illness or something that, like, you went to the doctor, you got a checkup, and you found out that there was something wrong with your health, and there's nothing you can do about it. And now you have to move forward. This was a choice. You made a choice. And that choice was a bad decision that led to even worse consequences. And now you're trying to sort of negate that by bringing in these awards and things that, like, how you're just like this upstanding member of the community and all of that. You're trying to do something that she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, then she gloated about it. She, in one of her confessionals, and the producers did their job, the editors put a picture of Karen with the people at her party, and she's like, look at all the people who showed up for me. I'm obviously the one that everybody wants to be around. And it was just like, it felt manipulative to get people there, especially considering G&A was collaborating with a brain tumor society. Hello, of all time not to take. This isn't like a Kenya Moore hair care moment, which was funny and shady. This was benefiting charity for cancer.
And we still don't even know what the award was for.
It was probably something made up.
I mean,
people want awards. Like, if you have enough money, people will throw a party for you.
When I used to do field day in elementary school, you guys, I was always the worst, and I always got the participation award. So it's like literally like you just got the you got the
showed up.
You showed up award. And like
you're breathing, you get an award.
That's great. That's great for you, Karen, but it's not the same. One definitely takes precedence over the other, and that is just a fact. It's a fact.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Nothing wrong there. Yeah, Potomac, I think I'm going to go up from my 6.75 and give it a solid 7. It was a good episode.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. The more we discuss it, it deserves the solid 7.
Are you ready for us to just like piss you off a little bit and everybody
Piss
else
me
in the live
off.
chat? Okay.
I'm feeling activated already. Beware.
Ask and you shall receive. Guys, I don't know if you saw Johnny J, a man who does not like the limelight, likes to sit back, doesn't want the attention, doesn't want to be on TV, doesn't do red carpets, no appearances. He just wants to live a quiet life. I get that. Like, who doesn't want to just live like their quiet life? Unless you're like Kim Kardashian, who said, no, I was born for this. Who doesn't want to just be left alone and live their quiet life? Well, lately, it seems like it's Johnny J with Alexis Bellino. So this interview with Us Weekly came after Shannon Beador's Watch What Happens Live appearance, where she talked about the fact that after Andy Cohen asked her, so what's the update on the lawsuit with John? She's like, well, we agreed to sign the non-disparagement, and I have to make a public announcement of just letting everybody know what a great man he was and how gracious he was and all of these things. Well, boom, that comes out. And then this came out right after. Guys, I'm going to play the clip.
I'm going to go grab my barf bag.
Oh.
Guys are both reality TV icons in your own
in the worst way
He's loving
possible
it
right now.
I'm so excited to see you back on TV. I know that, and back on Orange County. How does it feel to be back in the mix with the ladies?
It's been a rough season. I thought it would go one way and it went the other.
And I know you guys just wrapped the reunion. What can you tease from that?
I didn't get many words out.
Why do you think that was the case?
You'll see.
Okay. I know it has been a rough season. Do you feel like you got any closure with Shannon at all?
I don't need that. I just need the lies to stop. And all we were ever trying to do, well, I was trying to do is be amicable in the group.
Yeah.
And I know it looked one way. And like one time I would be wanting friends and then it'd be to not be friends, but one time I'd want to be amicable. The next time I'd be like, defending John, but it's just because the lies didn't stop. So I had to.
Which, by the way, I can defend myself, but I don't have the voice that she has, and she loves me, and she's not going to let me be lied about. But I'm very capable of defending myself.
And you guys seem like an amazing couple. You have a lot of fans, but there's also a lot of criticism about you guys. Is there any
a lot of fans?
false thing that you've heard about you too?
The hate has been overwhelming, and what's so difficult is that it's like we're in a vortex where all of the hate is based off of things that aren't true. And me having no voice has been very difficult. And then Lex feels the responsibility to try and help me. And then she gets criticized for that. So it's a tough no-win deal.
We're in a no-win situation, but it's okay because now it's done, and we can close that door and open the door to the wedding.
Are there any regrets? Anything about that was shared?
This
any
part got
regrets
me.
that you're having?
I don't have a regret.
Well, I think Lex regrets sharing anything about the videos.
Oh, okay.
And I'll restate that I'm the one that has the videos, and nothing has ever come out of my mouth that I was ever going to show them to anybody. That was never a possibility.
The funny thing is I thought I did that off camera. Like you film for 12 hours and I was with my girlfriends, my good girlfriends. You think you do something and then it's like, oh shoot, the cameras were rolling. I didn't even remember that. I didn't. I told the friends about them off camera.
That's not true.
I thought. And so it is what it is, but I don't really have any regrets because and we have truth on our side.
Yeah, going through all of this, do you have any empathy for Shannon? I mean, she has to be on the show now.
This is the part.
Does anyone hold on. Does anyone have empathy for me? What about me? I had to be on your show, just lost my mom, wasn't eating, wasn't sleeping, was barely getting out of bed, filmed a show and still put on my big girl panties to go film with his ex-girlfriend, which is just as hard. So I'm tired of hearing about that.
Yeah, that was my next question.
I have sympathy for her, but at the same time, it's like I had to do a really freaking hard job, and I got beat down the entire season.
Job.
I probably shouldn't say this, but Shannon is masterful at eliciting sympathy that she doesn't deserve. And I know I'll take heat for that, but it's the truth.
On a lighter note, I heard save the dates went out. Tamra says she got to save the date. How is wedding planning going? What can we expect? Is it going to be a big wedding? Are we just going to elope somewhere? Talk to me about that. That's way more exciting.
It is so much.
You got
Puke, barf. I'm not well. Let's get them away. Nobody's doing this except for them. Nobody's talking about them except for them.
Not Lex being corrected by Johnny J. Like, well, what I think Lex meant to say was she was, you know, this, and you guys are reality TV icons. And this poor girl who's doing the interview, you know, she, like, her job is to go on the red carpet and make everybody feel like $1 million. That is how she's going to get them to be vulnerable and open up. And it's like, if I make you feel good, oh my God, Ashley, you look amazing. You look gorgeous. You're just such an icon. I love Taste of Reality. Now the drama. It's like, it's such an art to it, and she's mastering it, and she did get them to open up. But like, God, like, what I guess what I don't understand is, obviously you didn't sign the mutual non-disparagement yet, because that wouldn't have made sense.
Well, like, and the thing is, I truly don't understand. If he wants her to sign a non-disparagement agreement, why wouldn't he sign it? It just makes no sense. Why would anybody sign that?
I think what they were trying to say at first was the reason that he wouldn't sign it was because he didn't want to sign it and then have anything that was already filmed on the show come out and him not be able to defend himself. But now that they know what's on the show, for the most part, well, they do now because they filmed the reunion, so they get all the episodes. You know what was on the show, and maybe there was something that they saw on the show together that pissed him off, and he wanted to put out his opinion. That's my opinion. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. But like for Alexis, when she's like, this is, guys, it's so crazy, and like, I'm the victim, I'm like, God, Alexis Bellino, get off of the screen.
Touch grass, woman.
Just, you gotta touch some grass. I don't even know what that means, but you gotta go touch it, because at this point, we're watching you. You came in, you completely lied about it. In my opinion, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm saying it feels very just inauthentic. And you told Tamra and other people, you didn't know I'm battling whether or not I want to come onto the show. I don't know if I want to come onto the show because I don't want to beat a woman that's already down and start kicking her. Then you came on the show and you're like, oh, Johnny J and I have sex 4 times a day and he has receipts and there's a lawsuit and she owes my future husband. She owes my man. Shannon, I just want to be friends with you. I'm like, girl, I would be like, get the fuck away from me. Get away from me.
I would never be friends with a human like Alexis Bellino in a million years. Like, she is the opposite of a girl's girl. And anytime, I think Sheena showed up. I feel like Sheena gets a lot of crap about like being the, but what about me? But what about me? Especially post Sandoval, that's been a running joke. It's always in the comments. Oh, has anybody ever checked up on Sheena yet? I feel like Alexis was like, here, Sheena, hold my beer. I'm taking over as the most self-righteous, self-centered person on Bravo.
I think John Jansen said the same thing to Tom Sandoval. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Hold my beer.
Tom Sandoval's probably like, God, Johnny J really did come in. Like, he came in and
Suzanne
she did
said
not have to go on the show.
She agreed to come on the show. She did not have to. We're supposed to feel bad for her. Listen, from anything that I feel bad for with her, it was something that like, and thank God, you guys, I have not dealt with this. I couldn't even imagine it. You know, like I watched Jason go through it with the loss of his father. And it really like, it wrecked Jason's world for like at least 2+ years. It was a totally different Jason. Just something that like I couldn't even imagine. And I didn't even know how to be there in this, except for just being like, I didn't know what to say. It was something that I wasn't even equipped for. And it wasn't about me. It really, you know, it's just, you have to support them and know like, I love you, like anything you need. But, and for her, for Alexis, my heart breaks for you for that. Like, I hate that she lost her mom. That kills me for her. But that also, in the eyes of like the viewers and everything and your actions on the show and the things that you're doing, those aren't taken out of the equation because you lost your mother. They're completely compartmentalized into two totally different situations. Like, this is the first time that while people can feel bad over the fact and empathize with the loss of a parent, they can also be upset with you for the way that you're acting on the show. There's the saying in the South, and it's also on the OC, you can't ride two horses with one ass. At this point, I feel like it's happening.
I think you said that quite well. And I love a quote. Did you say that was from the OC?
Yeah.
Who said that? Was that a Sandy Cohen gem?
No, it was the Summer.
Oh, good old Summer.
Yeah.
Good old Summer Roberts.
I've been using it a lot lately. I've been using it a lot. So
that's a good one. It's a good one.
It's a good one. But no, guys, I'm excited to see what continues on with this. Tamra recently also spoke out, and again, she threw another little dig at Shannon, and she said that after she, pointed out that whole FBI situation with Ryan at Katie Janela's house, that the next morning she woke up and Eddie was incredibly upset with her, and that she hasn't really drank since that moment, which was months and months and months ago. If you guys believe it, then okay, you believe it. If you don't, sure. But when I said it in a video, a ton of people were sliding into my DMs and sending me photos and stills of Tamra where she looked like she was a little sleepy or whatever while she was filming her podcast, and accusing her of drinking while she was doing the podcast. And I also came to her defense in that and said, the woman has multiple businesses. She has 4 podcasts. She's filming a TV show. She has children. She has a husband, and she has animals. So sometimes you are burnt out and you can be tired.
Yeah.
I'm not watching her just push them back. So I'm not going to sit there and say Tamra is an alcoholic, because I don't know that. And I'm not going to say that. But I just want to say, for the fans are looking at it like, don't throw stones when your house is made of glass too.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing with Tamra this season. It's like she has literally been up Shannon's backside about the drinking and the driving, which drinking and driving is fair. You're allowed to roast her for that. However, that doesn't mean she's an alcoholic. And if it does, like, are we going to make fun of her for that? And that's really not the problem. Shannon having drinks is not a problem. Shannon getting in a car after having drinks is a problem.
Right. And then, on top of that, I mean, we're going to have to see. Honestly, guys, we'll just sit back and see how this all plays out. But like, I think that even if you do, for anybody who's listening to this or watching, and I think that we've all dealt with people who, or have people in our lives that deal with substance abuse, to gossip about it to the side or make fun of it or be mean to somebody for it, it's not the answer. That's not going to get the result that you're looking for. It's just really going to further, if somebody has a problem and they deal with stress by like totally diving into whatever substance of choice that they deal with, and then you're sitting there down their throat telling them what a shitty human they are and like what a garbage person, that's probably going to drive them to further, just like we saw when when Shannon ended up leaving the table, and she wasn't, I don't think she was drinking at the table, I'm not sure, maybe she was, and walking away and ordering another drink to further dive herself into alcohol, because this is what she's dealing with. What you're doing is just making an already shitty situation 10 times worse. That's not a friend.
Mm-hmm.
The
way Tamra's approached it has been just awful and she's tried to embarrass Shannon every single step of the way. Yeah. If I were Shannon, I don't think I would never, ever go back to a friendship with Tamra. I know the Tres Amigas has been back and forth. I'm always on team, let's work it out. But I think that ship has sailed. And I think that Vicky, honestly, I saw somebody, I wish I remembered the creator who made this meme, but it was like, is the new Tres Amigas Shannon, Gina, and Emily? And I thought that was so funny. The way that Gina and Emily have embraced Shannon and really watched out for her. I don't know if it's Tres Amigas status, but I love the friendship. Especially the surprise, because Gina, of all people, could have been the hardest on Shannon, and she has taken the most grace.
I have a lot of respect for that.
I have to say, and I'm not going to go into it because, number one, I don't know what I'm talking about for sure. and no, I'm just going to say there has been stories out about Travis's ex doing some very dangerous things towards herself. In my opinion, earlier in the season, and I think you and I have discussed this, it really didn't sit well that Travis was there for Gina through all the Matt stuff. He was right there for her every step of the way. And then tables turn, Travis has problems with his ex and she moves out or has him move out. And that just felt so bad. But in retrospect and in seeing what's happening, she is protecting her children. It is 100% clear to me at this point. Has she kept things from camera? Yes. Is it because she's done what's best for her children? Yes. And therefore, we need to move on. I will never say anything about how she handled that situation because it was a very dangerous situation for her family.
Right. No, I agree. Okay, guys, we're going to end moving on. Brittany wanted to know, is Sheena being so involved in the Mormon Wives a sign that Vanderpump Rules is done? No, they are coming back. They start filming in the fall. And also, I think that, listen, Sheena likes to bond with people who are also in the reality TV realm. She's also just a great person, like super sweet. Sure, we see things on the show that you might not like, but I'm saying in real life, she's just like the easiest for, like, you could call her, she's going to be there. You want to ask her to like go do something, as long as it doesn't affect her time with her kid and her husband, she's going to be there. So no, I think that she's having fun while they're not filming. There's no way that she would fit into Mormon Wives.
And I think Sheena, also being a podcaster, is very smart because these people are going to be people that she comes back to for interviews because season 2 of Mormon Wives is coming back. So I think she's also being a business person, which I understand.
Well, speaking of being that, I was trying to see. Oh, I got to pull it up because I don't know if you saw this. Oh, God.
I love learning new things on your show.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, what the f am I playing? And sometimes I'm like, no, I got to play it. So I don't know if you guys saw this. Thank you to the reality TV guru. This came up from Jennifer Aydin, seemingly confirming her return to the Real Housewives of New Jersey. But is she? I guess that's the biggest question. Let's play it.
Oh,
I kept my first one outside the hair.
Okay.
All the way there.
Oh, sorry, Christine S. John. I am coming back.
So I kept.
We're going to play it 2 more times.
Outside the hair.
Okay.
All the way there.
Oh, sorry, Christine S. John. I am coming back.
So I kept my first one outside the hair.
Oh, sorry, Christine S. John. I am coming back.
Okay.
ugh. I can't stand her. I know you like her. I know you think that she contributes to, I know you think she's a good housewife. I can't stand her.
I mean, listen, I walk a line. I definitely walk a line. Do I think that she is New Jersey as we see it? No. Do I think that she delivers to the show? Yes. Do I think that she did the one thing that you can't do and then doubled down on it? What Jennifer Aydin did, and she was right. She was right. It's like if you have somebody smuggling drugs through an airport, right? And you go behind them, you know your friend in front of you just got through the airport and they have drugs on them and they got away with it. Okay, they got away with it. And then you start going through and then all of a sudden somebody stops you and they're like, can you please step aside? We know that you have illegal substances on your being. And you say, what do you think? I'm the first one to do it? When Jen Aydin got caught with sharing receipts, sharing storylines, and sharing screeners with Bravo bloggers, which is a big no-no. It's in the contract, and it's also property of NBC and Bravo. It's a huge, huge no-no, guys. I'm surprised she's not fired, let alone being sued or at least fined for it. If Kelly Dodd got fined for her, like Drunk Wives Matter hat, and I think she got fined, I'm not sure, you guys can ask her, but I think it was like something like 10, 15 or 20 grand that she had to pay for that. Like then
To Bravo?
Yeah, you get fined for certain things. It's in your contract. Yep. Yeah, there's a certain code of conduct that you have to have. And you're supposed to sort of walk that line. Honestly, they would they would prefer that you get approval on a lot of things, especially with social media. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sure that Mary Cosby got in trouble for saying that she fell asleep during the Real Housewives of New York when they're trying so hard to revamp it. I'm sure that they were pissed about that. I didn't talk to anybody, but I'm sure.
Well, it
Now,
makes sense.
yeah. And Andy Cohen asked, oh, Kelly had to pay $16,000. Thank you, Val Porter.
Thank you.
So Andy Cohen asked Jennifer Aydin on Watch What Happens Live. He's like, Jen, there's been a lot of things coming out about you. And like these people are claiming that you have, been speaking with them. And what do you have to say for yourself? And she's like, oh, Andy, like, I'm not the first and I'm not the last person to speak to a blogger. I'm just the one who got caught. And it's like, no, that's not the answer that he was looking for. Like, wrong. 0 for 2 over there because you fucked up with that one. That's a shitty answer. Like, that's your boss. And she's like,
she doubled down to her boss. Why? I just don't know how people can't say, I was wrong. It won't happen again.
yeah.
That's how you apologize. That's an apology.
Yeah. Accountability.
If they have her back, I'm not a big Jersey girl in the first place. I'm going to really, really struggle if they have her back because, one, that means Teresa's back. And I'd be better with Teresa is Jersey. Like her or not, she is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I don't like it. That's why I don't really care for Jersey. If Aydin comes back, I don't like her approach to things. And especially, this is a weird thing to me. She's a Swiftie. But Swifties don't like bullies. Like Taylor Swift was bullied her whole life. Like she had no friends growing up. Well, she had one friend. She's very anti-bully. It's a very anti-bully community, except for the weirdos who are like always slipping into like John Mayer's DMs. But that's not the majority of us. Jen Aydin doesn't fit the bill because she's a bully. She's mean and she attacks people. And that's just like anti the lifestyle, the philosophy. Right. Just saying. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
She's a mean girl, and I don't get it.
Well, we're going to soften this up a little bit, you guys. Whether you like it or not, whatever New Jersey, whatever Bravo decides to do with the casting of New Jersey, that's what it's going to be. We don't really have to say so, but go ahead.
People were asking where they can find House of Villains because Teresa's on that. Just while we're on Teresa, it's on right after Salt Lake City on Bravo at 10 o'clock on Bravo after Salt Lake City is when you'll find House of Villains, just for those asking.
And why wouldn't it be?
Well, especially with Monica as the voice. Hey, can I ask you a question that you might know, might not know, because I don't know if Monica's allowed to talk about it, but do you know when she did the voiceover work? Was it after they filmed?
I actually don't know the answer to that. I did ask Monica when she found out she was going to be doing House of Villains and, how long she knew for, because, Monica and I have become friends and, like we talk all the time. And in doing that, I think that it's easy for anybody in Monica's position to be fired from a show, not knowing like, will you get another opportunity? Will you not? Like, do I need to go get a regular job? What does this look like for me? And I was telling her, I think whether it's Traitors or Ultimate Girls Trip Villains or House of Villains or something that you will be asked back. And then when it came out, I was sitting in the kitchen with my mom and my mom's like, did you see this Monica thing? And this was when we first started the podcast. And I was like, wait, what? Oh, you even sent it to me too. And I was like, wait, what? And I called Monica and Monica was like, yeah, I couldn't talk about it. So Monica is totally a vault. If there is something and she has a contract, she's going to honor that contract and she's not going to give you, which I completely respect, but no, I don't know the timeline.
You have to follow rules at a job. Duh.
Clearly, Jennifer Aydin did not, and Monica did. So,
well, Monica got fired, and Jen might be coming back. And whereas Monica was shady to her castmates, Jen was shady to the production and to the executives and her cast and the fans.
You can say the same thing about Heather Gay. Heather Gay had a whole black eye story and alluded to the fact that it could have been production who gave it to her.
That was messed up. And I
That's
love
all-
Heather Gay, but the second she mentioned that, I was like, that is dirty.
I mean, you're putting, they're not making six figures to do production and like to be
No.
like a PA or like the cameraman number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or the audio engineer. They're not making six figures. So to sit there and allude to the fact that somebody in that could have been the person who hit you in the face and you're not sure, when in all actuality, I'm pretty sure, can't say definitively because I'm not Heather Gay, pretty sure you knew exactly what happened. I think that's dirty. I think that things like that, when you're going up against the people who are helping make these shows so special for the fans, but also that it's a business, like ad people who own these companies who are servicing the ads for these shows and like paying for these big spots and all of the things, they need those ratings to be up, up, and up in order to get top dollar. So it trickles down. It's very much so like an effect. It's a waterfall effect. So when you're doing that, you're not just attacking production, you're now attacking the franchise, you're attacking Bravo and NBC, you're now disrupting the ad dollars. It is a whole cycle. It's like, that's what it is. You can't,
Right. That leaves a really bad climate within the cast and the crew also. And that's the last thing you need. Like everybody on these sets needs to be cordial and get along with each other. And once people feel that they're being targeted, there's going to be animosity, and rightfully so. Yeah, that was really, I think I let Heather Gay off, and I, again, love Heather, but I think I let her off too easy for that because that was really low. That's somebody's job, career. Getting a gig with Bravo is huge.
Welcome back to the real world there, Ash.
A taste of reality here.
A taste of reality. I love a plug.
Thank you.
I love a plug.
Before we went live, I did the most organic blow CBD plug also that I wish I was able to share.
Yeah. Well, don't worry. I'll be able to share blow CBD with all of you very, very soon. And I'm very excited about it. Thanks for the plug.
Yeah. Well,
hi, Tamra. See you soon.
Oh my gosh. Is this going to be like a Meredith Whitney thing? Like bath bombs are my thing.
I don't have the same platform. I'm not in competition with anybody. Like our business partners and Jason and I, we legitimately started this business because of our love for CBD and the effects of it and how it's affected us differently. It's a real story and why we did it. We didn't slap our name on something. We didn't just like not invest ourselves into the distributors and sit back with the chemist and figure out how to alter certain ingredients to fit where we want. This has been a huge, long process. And I'm not saying she slapped her name on anything, but this story and this process and this business is authentic to us. I'm sure hers is authentic to her. And while none of us are reinventing the wheel, there is space for everybody. I am not interested in the concept of competing with anybody. It's just, I hope you love it when you try it. And if you do, then I want you to enjoy it and continue to consume it. That's all.
Fair.
Politically correct over here. Now wait till catch me off camera. Catch me outside. How about that? No, I'm just
Are you
kidding.
going to pull a Mia and say, oh, I didn't know I was on camera?
That was Alexis.
Oh God, excuse me. That was Alexis. Sorry, Mia. When I'm apologizing to Mia, of all messy Mia, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mia. All right, moving on to the next topic of conversation. Guys, over 600 in the room. Smash the like button. Show some love. Lindsay Hubbard hinted that she might actually be exiting the Summer House franchise. She said she pictures it being very difficult to show up to the summer house with an 8-month-old baby. What are your thoughts?
I am a big fan of when people know it's time to go. One of my favorite shows of all time is Schitt's Creek, and people were very upset when it ended after 6 seasons because it was at such a high, but I think that's why the show has such a great track record and why it's so highly regarded is because it didn't go on too far and it didn't start to suck. I think she's making a really wise choice. She, whether you like her or not on the show, she's had a very successful run, a very memorable run on Summer House. And if she thinks that that part of her life might be over just with this new chapter, that's a really mature thing. And that's okay.
I didn't realize Carl Radke is 49 on Summer House.
Okay, I'm 44. I can't really get into Summer House. I enjoy aspects. Like, I think Paige is hilarious. I can't believe people that, not old, but you're a grown-ass adult. That's embarrassing. Who acts like that?
I mean, it's kind of like the Shep Rose of it all. But no, I couldn't either. Being 49 and being in a house with my friend, like if I was in a house with my friends at 49, I don't want a camera there. I just want to have fun with my friends. I want to have a good time. I don't want to be like, guys, this is tough, and fuck her. Fuck her. It's like, this is what we do when you're on Too Hot to Handle or Love Island.
When you're 24 and you're on a 24-year-old show, like Summer House would be so much more fun. And I like the cast. I think the fact that they have to get like blackout drunk every episode is just so tired to me. I would much rather see, if they're going to keep a group of mid 30s and 40s people on a show, I would rather them act like a grown-up and not get drunk all day, every day. I know it's the weekend, but
I want to preface that also by saying, like, Carl Radke looks damn good for 49, you guys. So I will say that. But he's also sober. So we'll leave it at that. But yes, Lindsay might not be returning to Summer House. And my prediction is if she does, it's going to be a brief cameo where she'll come in town with her boyfriend, who might be her fiance at the time, or maybe even her husband at that point, I'm not sure, and a night nurse or nanny, and they will be at a hotel, and she will come up and be like, hey guys, did you miss me? And it'll be a brief, like, one episode sort of cameo situation. Mm-hmm. I don't picture her leaving her baby behind and being like, I am checking into the house. You know what I mean?
Do you think Lindsay, because I know Lala was really, really hoping for a baby spinoff show, and she ended up getting like an Amazon Prime special. There's not been talk of Lindsay having anything like that, but I feel she would, and she's a very controversial person, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. She's just such an I don't want to say unexpected mother. That doesn't sound right. But her journey ending up where she is now, I think was a surprise to a lot of us, especially so close. No judgment. I'm happy for her. I love this journey for her. But I would really like to see possibly a Lindsay, not show, but maybe like a little special, maybe like a little 3-episode something.
I mean, honestly, Paige DeSorbo would take the paycheck. Sierra would take the paycheck. A lot of the girls would take the paycheck. They would join her, check up on her. She can show her new boyfriend, show what life is like as a mother. And if we're going to bet it all on Blonde for a couple of episodes, which was like, then yeah, give her a Peacock little 3-series spinoff, and let's cap it off after she has the baby and show what it's like as her, like, as a new mother. And then, you know, if there are other opportunities, like the thing is that the Bravo and NBC wheel, it doesn't stop turning. Like, they just came out with Love Hotel with Ashley Darby, Giselle Bryant, Luann de Lesseps, and Shannon Beador. So they are always trying to come up with new concepts. We just started a new reality show in Salt Lake City. Like, they're trying to figure out ways to keep the viewers invested, and the best way for them to do that is by taking somebody who the viewers are already invested in, as opposed to starting a completely new concept. So this is not a far-fetched idea.
I'm not mad at it, and I'm still bitter at Bravo and or Peacock. Well, I guess it's all the same umbrella. Nobody wanted to bet it all on Blonde. Nobody asked for that. Did anybody watch that?
I didn't. I watched like the first 5 minutes of the first episode, and I was just kind of like, I hope you get everything that you want in this life. I can't watch this. I'm sorry. I got to go. Bye.
I only watched it because it forced it on my TV. I think I was watching Peacock and whatever I was watching ended. So it just put it on. And I actively, I don't run. I ran to my TV to turn it off because I was like, no, you're not getting my viewership.
My God.
And I actually went to the Bet It All on Blonde show. I have a review at tasteofreality.com. I got a free ticket and I wanted my money back.
Did you just come here today to choose violence?
I chose violence today. It's Monday. I feel like I'm on the Traders. Like, I looked at myself and I was like, am I going to Scotland? Am I telling, like, is this a low key, like, put me on the Traders? Maybe. And maybe I'm choosing violence today, but that show.
I like how we're like ending the show with maybe I'm choosing violence when we started it off. Like, it's a new week, everybody. Positivity.
How did we get here?
It's okay. Once it's triggers. We're all learning from our triggers.
What? I got spicy. I don't remember what activated me, but when I'm activated, I can't stop.
Okay. Well, listen, we're not upset with you about it. We love it. Last but not least, guys, this is completely a rumor, but I want to know what Ashley makes of this rumor. Thank you to Bravo Snarkside. Somebody said, I just closed on a house in Green Hills. The seller's agent said before my offer, Kyle Richards had an offer on the same house, which ultimately fell through. So I think we will be seeing more of her being in Nashville. I had two different ideas about this.
One at a time.
Okay. The first one was her and Mauricio are notorious for collecting real estate.
Yes.
That's not, and Nashville is a booming market.
Yes. Huge.
It's huge. And like, if you would have bought right at the time of the pandemic or before the pandemic, you bought a house for $500,000, it's probably worth 1.1, 1.2 at this point. Like the market in Nashville has completely skyrocketed. So that's a big deal. But then also, I think that even Rihanna said it. Rihanna was asked, do you think Kyle and Morgan are in a relationship? And she goes, duh. But it's like, now just, and I know it's at your own pace. You could do whatever you want. Once you put it out there, you can't take it back. But like, now it just seems like you're dragging the fans along because it keeps it relevant as opposed to just putting a pin in it. And I know that you want everybody to just like die down and go away because you're like, we're just friends. But then when you have the music video, you're running around with each other, you're getting tattoos with each other, you're acting different towards your husband that we've never seen before. You seem like you're getting a little cozy. You're in front row of the thing. Like, and sure, you're filming a documentary. We get it. It's coming off a little sus to the fans, which is fair.
I just don't like the fact that it's like, are you embarrassed? Are you like, what is the problem? Why would you, I mean, her sexuality is her business, but her not being forthcoming makes it feel like, do you think it's wrong? Do you think people are going to judge you? Like, if you are in love with a human being, you should not be ashamed of that love for that person. And if I were Morgan Wade and I was in a loving relationship, allegedly with Kyle, if that's really what's happening, that would really hurt my feelings at this point.
You know, when Jason and I first met each other, I wasn't ready to come out to my family. I just figured, which is so sad looking back at it, but I just figured that by the time that I do that I was going to lose like my brothers, my sisters, dad, mom, everybody. And I was like, man, this is going to suck. So I asked him, I said, do you mind? Because he was 30 and I was 20. I was like, do you mind if we just go and see if we can last a year? And if we last a year, then I will be very forthcoming with my family. I will tell them everything. And it was a year later on our 1-year anniversary. And we were sitting at Joe Allen's in New York City. And I got up and went to the bathroom and I sent this whole group text to my entire family. There were like 12 people on the thread. And then I turned my phone off and I ordered a bottle of wine. And I told Jason, I was like, I did it. I sent it to them, blah, blah, blah. And lo and behold, my family and I are closer now than we ever have been. My family is the best. It was my own personal, scare of whatever. But I even look back at that like, man, what an amazing like partner and person to even allow that space and feel like they're being kept as a secret when nobody wants to be kept as a secret. Like, what a shitty feeling. It makes me feel like an awful person for even doing that.
Well, especially since he's already come out of the closet.
Right.
He has had his journey out of the closet, and now he's taking on your journey, which is what people who love each other do. But again, that's what the partnership is for. And I don't feel if she is in a partnership with Morgan Wade, I just don't think that that's how a loving partner acts to another loving partner.
Yeah.
And
No,
the
I
only
agree.
person that cares is her. If there is anybody out there that has a problem, that's their problem.
I agree.
It has nothing to do with Kyle. It has nothing to do with Morgan. They have the problem. Move on. You can't let that stuff bother you.
Move on, bitches.
Yes, move, B. Get out the way.
Pam, where is this? I am a Cancer. I'm a Cancer. I am too. That's why emotional shit doesn't sit well with me, because I'm like, I can't watch anything. I cry over everything. The other day I was driving past and Jason was like fully talking to me about business stuff. I saw a dead raccoon and I was like upset for the dead raccoon. Jason's like, can you please focus? I'm like, I can't, because the raccoon is dead. And he's like, Adam, I am talking to you about something that's important. I'm like, oh, that life wasn't important. And like, I'm like crazy, you guys. But with that
mattered.
Yeah, that raccoon mattered. Happy Monday, everybody. If you guys don't know, Ashley is about to let you know, starting with her Instagram, her and Imani, Taste of Reality. Let them know.
Oh my goodness. My queen Imani does such a great job on Instagram. Taste of _reality is where we keep all the things. We were just talking about Lindsay. She cracked me up. She posted, it's the second one, that if you know, you know. I died when I saw Imani post that. It's like, is there anything creepier than a guy who asks for a hug? And the answer is no. There is nothing creepier. I saw that and I was like, yeah, that's a haunted house. That is a jump scare. If a man says, can I have a hug? Like, I'm running the opposite way. It's weird. Imani and I both are behind the scenes at tasteofreality.com, which I would like to say is under construction. It's a little glitchy. We should be out of this in the next couple weeks, hopefully, but everything has been good on the site. We are covering it all. I don't know if you saw Mia's shady posts about Karen. Again, messy Mia was not wrong. She called Karen out. She's like, hey, I'm going out drinking and I got a car, and that's what you should do. And Mia is not wrong. So yeah, Lala has been talking about Lala. And we love Lala. She is the nicest person. I've met Lala more than once. She is a lovely, lovely human being. I just don't think she gets it. She was really trying to be one for the people, and she gave them Lala. She was 100% honest. She said, oh, I had a night nurse 3 nights a week, and she just increased it to 7. She got drugged for absolute trash in her comments. Like, oh, that would be nice. And then she said she wanted another baby. And I'm not judging any of this. I'm just saying what happened. She said she wanted another baby. And in the next sentence that she has a 7-day-a-week night nurse, and she got dragged, you guys. And again, it's like reality. Is this reality now for Vanderpump Rules? Because the Vanderpump rules I loved was them sharing apartments, having to stay in each other's guest rooms because they couldn't afford anything else. She has a night nanny 7 days a week. If I could afford it and I had a kid, I'd do the same thing. No judgment.
I would do the same thing. We have a friend in Thailand, and she's like the Angelina Jolie of Thailand. She's like one of the biggest stars. And I think she has 6, 12, 18, 24. Yeah. I think she has 4 nannies, and they're in 6-hour increments, and they travel with her. They go on set with her. They take turns. She houses all of them. They're all fed. They're all taken care of, but I think they all live with her. So it's like a cycle. And sure, Thailand, I'm sure it's a little bit cheaper to afford these things, but, and I'm not saying I'm sure it is cheaper to afford these things. I know this for a fact because I know my friend and how much she's spending, but it's something that I always tell Jason's like, I want to be a dad one day. I'm like, I don't want to be a dad unless we can afford help, because I wouldn't want this crying little thing to look at me and just be like, ah! And I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. I would just be counting the days until I could send it away to boarding school.
Boarding school? I thought you were going to say kindergarten and you said boarding school.
No.
I'm dead. And
Switzerland. See you later.
I'm so scared of boarding schools. Did you read Paris Hilton's book? I'm scared.
No, that's that's for like kids who are supposed to have behavioral issues. Boarding school is somewhere like Caroline Stanberry went to, and then she said she's like an emotionless person because she's like, darling, I don't have emotion the same way you do. I went to boarding school. We weren't supposed to have emotion. This is this. And I'm like, she grew up just fine. So
No, she's doing okay for herself.
she's doing
Honestly, I
great.
might be a lot more stable of a person if I wasn't so emotional. Let me rephrase that. I know I would be so much more stable if I was less emotional. So I think there's some merit to that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're at an hour and 15 minutes. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit the notification bells. If you're not following Ashley and Amani anywhere on social medias at Taste of Reality, then go follow them. And of course, go to tasteofreality.com and make sure you're a part of their live discussions and a part of the Taste Buds. And then we're not going to be back on Friday, but on Wednesday, we have the Real Housewives of New York recap, maybe with Kim. I'm not sure yet. Thursday, we have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And then that's it. And then I'll see you guys the following Monday. But we'll have a lot of discussions in between now and then. We'll be posting polls in the community tabs. And if you guys are not checking up on the TikTok, I think we just hit like 115,000 followers or something. Guys, I just post videos on there. And Jason was pointing this out to me. He's like, you look like an asshole. You don't even follow people on TikTok. And I'm like, I just do the TikTok and I don't even watch TikTok. I just film it. And then I'm like, okay, bye TikTok. It's like one of the things on the list. So thank you guys and go check out the TikToks. That's all. But
I love it.
Love you guys and we'll see you next time. Bye.